What up, y'all? This is an update on the Brown University shooting. Let's get it. And shout out to CNN.
Clearly, the man is masked. There also appears to be an identifiable gait in the way that he walks. Officials say he should be considered armed and dangerous. They don't know whether he is still in the area. It's been nearly 72 hours now since this shooting. The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward in the case, and they are asking for both help and patience.
It's painstaking work, and we are asking the public to be patient as we continue to run down every lead so we can get victims, survivors, and their families, and all of you.
All right, this comes after police cleared and released another man who had been described as a person of interest in the case. That was a move that led to concern and confusion on campus and all around the city. With me now is CNN's Lee Waltman, who arrived on scene here Saturday night after the shooting and has been all over the campus and city since. Bring us up to speed on these new developments in the investigation.
Well, John, the images, the videos and pictures that were released at the news conference yesterday, these are significant because you have to remember the two videos released prior to that, they were blurry. We didn't see any kind of image of this person's face, but you can see it on the videos on your screen right now. You can see part of this man's face. It's covered by a mask here, but it was a distinctive video release because the AG says this could be the key here. Those threads to try and blow this case wide open. We asked him about it last night at this news conference, and he said the next 24 to 36 hours are very key in this investigation. They could blow this whole case wide open. You mentioned that distinctive gait that he has. Well, we're looking at this. We have no idea who this person is, but someone who does know this man, the images of his face that we can see, the walk, they should be able to identify this person. We know they're getting these tips from the community. We saw them out here in this neighborhood surrounding Brown University. K-9 units, the FBI, U.S. Marshals, state and local police, they're knocking on doors, hoping to get some more videos so we can really piece all of this together.
And you were at that news conference again yesterday where this new video was released. There seemed to be some frustration. Certainly the press asking, I think, important questions to law enforcement about what's taken so long, why this is coming out in stages, and the police and law enforcement in general may be frustrated and a little tired too.
Absolutely, and the law enforcement were asking these questions, things that we're hearing from the community, asking why we're not seeing more. Is there any more video? And they're telling us this is just a part of the investigation. Give us some time here. Community members also telling us that they're frustrated. They want this manhunt to come to an end, John.
All right, Lee Waltman, again, you've been here for days now. Great work all over this area. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. As we said, there are facing a lot of questions, police and FBI, about how they are handling this after this initial person of interest was cleared and released. Law enforcement had to get back to work. You're seeing what they've been doing here in this neighborhood, going through neighborhoods, going into yards, walking down the streets, knocking on doors. This was yesterday, right? 2 full days after the shooting, which tells you where they are. Listen.
We have known since Saturday that the potential suspect walked down Martin Street. It was in the first video. Why would you be now looking in the bushes for something on Waterman Street 2 days later after it snowed?
So I just answered John the same question of how investigations, they turn and lead you in a different direction. We might have used all our energies in the first few days to investigate something, and here we are now heading back to that same place to continue to investigate, and that's why you saw that, because the investigations change on a daily basis.
All right, with us now, CNN Senior National Security Analyst Julia Kayan, former Assistant Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security. And one new bit of information, Julia, which really tees up the question about where we are. Late yesterday, law enforcement put out a note for anyone who was in that building, Barris and Holly, which is the engineering building where the shooting took place, saying, hey, we want to talk to you if we were in that building, which seems like a reasonable request, except that it was 2 full days after the shooting itself. So what does all of this tell you about what's been going on?
I mean, that the person of interest, and I think the FBI sort of saying, we've got our guy, and disclosures by Director Patel, delayed this 18 hours. I mean, I will tell you, I saw pictures of them looking through the snow and everything. It snowed. You and I were standing here in the snow on Sunday. most evidence is now gone, right? Like, so if he dropped something, if there were fingerprints or whatever, most of it will be gone. So and they admit it, they're delayed about 18 to 24 hours. Also, students are gone. Memories, labs people are traumatized. People are all around the country, around the world now who may have been in that building. So it's just going to be harder for them. But look, they are committed to doing a restart. But this is unfortunate, and the public does not want to see law enforcement agencies sort of throwing each other under the bus.
That said, what we did get was the new video released yesterday.
Yeah.
3 separate pieces of video at this news conference, along with some photos and a $50,000 reward.
Yeah.
At first glance, you're like, oh, I can't see his face here, but there are some recognizable things, perhaps, for someone who knows this.
So and let's combine that with the $50,000 reward, which seems, it's money, but it's not like a huge reward. This money and those videos someone is recognizing him. He has friends, he has colleagues, he has a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Someone will recognize this, and the $50,000 is essentially, we're going to make this, we need you to come forward. A stranger is not going to recognize him from that. So unlike, say, the United Healthcare manhunt, this is really not a manhunt in that sense. This is a we need someone near him to come forward.
That's what happened in Utah with the Charlie Kirk shooting.
Exactly.
It was people who knew that person, even though they were unrecognizable to most people in the video. I want to ask you a question. Actually, Anderson asked me last night, and it's one that more and more people are asking. Providence is a city of some 200,000 people. Presumably a lot of cameras around.
Yeah.
Brown University has a lot of cameras around. How can it be that there aren't more pictures?
I can't answer this. I'm your analyst. I cannot answer this. That there's a couple things. Did he know where cameras were on the campus? You just have to ask yourself that, so that he's sort of diverting himself and his position. But they are looking at all cameras now. The city is back open. They're gonna, people who weren't around Saturday and Sunday were back at work yesterday. Maybe they'll find something. The other thing is there's no pictures of him in the room. We generally do get sort of real-time pictures. I think that shows the suddenness of this. He comes from behind, and then everyone is hiding. But it is true, and it may change. Someone has something that they don't know.
Oh well, I think it'll change going forward in this city and this college for sure. One of the things they say about the building, they're just on a lot of campers in that building. So in this neighborhood, which is on campus, but the edge of campus, there are residences all around here. So it's sort of a patchwork, but still, you might expect to see more. Great to see you, Julia. Thank you so much for being here.